Hello and welcome to the Business Devil. In today's episode we are going to talk further about the TikTok scandal. So what is happening with TikTok? As I said earlier, they were already being investigated due to the fact that they allegedly are using our data and spying on people and governments. So in a sense, yes. But today I'm breaking down what's really going on and what the real problem with TikTok actually is. So let's start from the beginning. TikTok is a product of ByteDance, and ByteDance, well, it's a Chinese company. So although it isn't owned by the Chinese government itself, every company in a country is, under the law of that country. And as ByteDance is under the Chinese law, they need to give their data voluntarily to the Chinese government whenever the Chinese government asks this. It's actually the same in any country, because if you want to have a good connection with the government, you do what the government says. And that's not only for China, even here in Belgium or in the US, it happens everywhere. If, for instance, let's take US, if the NSA, the CIA or the FBI comes at your company and they ask for your data because they suspect something, like that one of your customers is doing fraud and you need to have evidence against them, then you need to give it. It's mandatory. So that's actually the same principle that China is using, although in China it is in a less detailed line of the law. So that's why a lot of people are actually having troubles with privacy in China due to the fact that the data itself is doubtable protected. And that's what's happening. So the US is currently using this as a case. And what do they do in this case? Well, they say, well, ByteDance, you have a very nice algorithm, we are very interested in it, but it uses our data and we don't trust you with our data. The response of ByteDance is, well, you don't trust us with your data, but all US data is stored on US ground in Texas. But that's not necessarily the truth. As you know, TikTok is global. You can access TikTok through many countries and have feed of many other countries. If I open my TikTok here, I can have my feed from South Korea, from the US, from everywhere. The only thing that's a bit restricted is China, because in China they use the sub-platform called Douyin, and Douyin is a Chinese version of TikTok. Why did ByteDance already do this? Well, with that law in mind. So Douyin is a platform that can have the data looked through, but TikTok itself is actually still restricted even for the Chinese government to access. But going back to TikTok, we see the scandal. And what are they trying to do with the scandal? There are three possible outcomes for this. Either they want to blemish TikTok so that other platforms, US-made, European-made, etc., can take over. Secondly, they are after the algorithm, because TikTok is such a very good video tool and it's a new marketing advertisement platform. Not only that, it's a social media of the future. Video-based content will become bigger and bigger. That's why the US also has invested in Meta. So you see what is happening. It's not only because of the people, it's mostly politics. And politics will always be involved when we do business. So, what is literally going on with TikTok? If TikTok plays this well, they still exist. If TikTok does something wrong, they can be restricted in some countries. And it can be the downfall, because if you're restricted in a few countries, a new platform can rise and it can take over. Simple as that. Think of Vine and how it got annihilated and everything video based came back to YouTube, Twitch, etc. Same scenario. So that's happening right now. A secondary solution would be that they say, okay, we can create a separate sub-app. meaning all data in the US can be done through US only app and will only be used in the US. That way, the US can't complain. Third solution can be, okay, we keep it as it is and you don't do anything. Because at the end of the day, who are the people who give their data to TikTok? It's you and me, the consumer, the companies that use it, their own government employees that use it, the ones they are afraid the data will leak about. And that's the problem. Nowadays we want to share everything. You can't share everything. Some things are under NDAs, some things are restricted content. For instance, here in Belgium, I have seen TikToks of some of the ministries and they literally have their paperwork on the table for everyone to see. Stupidest thing you can do. But that's just not having a healthy mindset. It's not having the right mindset to know what you can share and what not. So, what is the most important thing? And it's not only for TikTok, it's for every social media. It's to know what content you share. What do you want to share to the public and what do you want to keep hidden under privacy? You are the only one choosing how your privacy works. And that's where I want to end off this little podcast about the fall of TikTok and about what is actually going on with TikTok. So I hope you find this interesting. And for next week I didn't have a subject in mind yet. But if there are, please let me know. If not, I am thinking perhaps something in the fashion industry, because in the last weeks I have been designing a few things. So this is the end of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed and see you back in a new one. Bye.